Be careful. Be very careful. I mean, very careful. While American farmers are finally admitting the truth out loud, they lost their so-called white privilege. The moment they tried to bring black exploitation of black folks in America, that backfired. And that's why I want you to watch this video. You just have to watch this video so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
This is terrifying. What? Farmers across America are going bankrupt. They're calling it Farmageddon. Good. Serves them right for supporting Trump. You still don't get it, do you? Where do you buy food? The grocery store? And you think food prices are bad now? Just wait. Tariffs have decimated farmers. What do you think happens when you start ridiculous trade wars with other countries? They get mad? Yeah, understatement. China's the world's top soybean buyer, and soybeans alone brought in $13 billion for American farmers last year. Now those sales, almost all gone. Yikes. And that's not all. These immigration crackdowns, some farms lost 100% of their workers, all kidnapped by ICE. Now, how do you pick food without workers? You can't. It's rotting in the field. Whoa. Plus, seeds, feeds, machinery, potash, pesticides, all more expensive than ever before. Then you add on high interest rates, and what do you get? Farmageddon? Bingo. And farmers were already 3 times more likely to die by suicide. Ugh. And don't forget, in 22...
Hold on, so let me get this straight. The white farmers in Louisiana, they're mad because people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. Let me run that back. White farmers are mad. The very farmers that voted Republican, okay, they voted for this, are mad that people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. I'm saying you get what you ask for. Hey, it's FAFO type shit, okay? But hey, don't be fooled. I feel like it's gonna come to a point where they're finna make people get on their farms. Don't count me to it. Because if 2025 was a checklist, hey.
Wait, you mean to tell me Americans don't want to pick lettuce for $2 an hour? No. Now the farmers are crying because they can't find any workers. Ain't that something? After you pushed out all of the immigrant workers who actually did the job, now you're standing around wondering why Chet and Kaylee won't come pick your cabbage in 100-degree weather for $4.75 and a Capri Sun? Y'all really thought folks were going to jump at the chance to break their backs for pennies on a dollar. But you know what's even funnier, y'all? Some of these farmers say the American workers they do get, they don't even last the whole damn day. One guy said somebody walked off by luck. And honestly, I support it. Listen, I wouldn't be out there picking strawberries and fighting bees and being dehydrated just so that farmer could sell those strawberries for $12.99 a box at Whole Foods. Negative. See, they've been telling you this lie for years. They took our jobs. Nah, Americans, you didn't want those jobs. You just didn't want them to have the jobs either. Now look at you. A field full of crops and not a soul to pick them. Next time, think twice before turning labor into a culture war. 'Cause now, it's just you and your own damn tomatoes.
You see all these farmers on TikTok complaining now about Trump who voted for Trump? It's funny how people don't care about something until it directly affects them. Countless farmers are on the verge of losing their farms. One guy has a wheat farm. He's already lost $400,000 since Trump's been in office. Another guy has a sweet potato farm, 200 acres. He's already lost $500,000. Farmers in our country are losing their government contracts. The government is reneging on the contracts they already have with these farmers, and these farmers depend on these contracts. The agricultural sector relies on billions of dollars of government assistance for loans, grants, disaster relief, and conservation practices. These programs have been around since FDR. Now, a federal judge already blocked the funding freeze that Trump instilled because it's against the law. But farmers around the country, They're telling us. It's all over social media. They're receiving letters saying the government is just not going to be able to fulfill their contracts. These people are losing everything. They're having to sell their cattle to survive and pay bills. This is only the beginning. We're not even a month in.
But some folks who aren't feeling Trump's optimism right now are American farmers, and they are stuck in the middle of all of this.
Frank, who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump.
Mr. Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen.
No.
You voted for President Trump. So now, in this moment, you say you're in a free fall. What is your message to him?
So I'm off the Trump train. Where I'm going for now is I got to protect my business.
Island, a wheat farmer who says he's lost $400,000 since Trump took office.
I think there was a lot of people who voted for him that want to stay loyal to him, but it's going to get to the point where financially, if it's between supporting the president or losing your family farm.
You voted for the president?
Yes, I did.
And do you support these policies which might be hurting farmers like you?
Right now, we're the ones that are taking the hit.
I think he's sort of backstabbing the main people who got him into office in the Midwest, and he just left us down.
So we need to talk about this Georgia farmer that did not vote for Donald Trump. And now the county, 60% of the citizens that voted for Donald Trump and whose officials are all Trump supporters, took over 225 acres of his farmland through eminent domain. They've given him 90 days to vacate his cattle and all of his equipment. They've already got the engineering firms and the construction companies showing up on his farmland. He's being literally bulldozed. Not only did the majority of the county vote for Donald Trump, all of the officials behind this decision support Donald Trump. The other entity behind this is Georgia's Department of Transportation, which is also run by Trump supporters. And what's sad is this farmland contains centuries-old pecan groves. They're plowing right through this. And there's not going to be any public jets there. This isn't for public transportation. This is for use by wealthy white millionaires and billionaires who can afford private jets. So this is where I want Georgia taxpayers to pay attention. You're paying for the rich white man's private airport with 47 million of your tax dollars. And it gets even worse. You and I are paying 40 million of it through a grant that Trump's FAA is giving to them. So we're paying for these wealthy white men to have their fun on a private airport and take away the land of a farmer who did not vote for this. He's made it very clear that he's never voted for Donald Trump, that Trump policies have done nothing but hurt his farm and his business, and this is the ultimate pain. And I just have to say, all of you Trump supporters that are all about, we love the farmers, America first, you guys let Jeff down. You let Jeff down. Racism is expensive.
What you're about to hear is pure shock, pure regret, and a full MAGA freak out happening in real time. I mean, right now. Immigrant farm workers are not showing up. Not in Rio Grande Valley in the Texas, not in Florida, not even in California. That is very bad. The crops are rotting in the fields. Grapefruit, oranges, tomatoes, onions, cabbages, even carrots. All of them are rotting. The undocumented farmers who kept these farms alive for decades have disappeared because of mass deportation policies. And now the farmers are panicking. I went down the rabbit hole, and what I found should not surprise you at all. These same white farmers were on live streams thinking they were in safe space. I mean, they said, we thought the blacks would come back and do the jobs. Let that sink a little. Let it sink in a little bit. Just watch this clip before we continue.
Immigrant farm workers are not showing up on farms in the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, Florida, and California. In Texas, in particular, in the Rio Grande Valley, they produce many crops needed around the country, such as grapefruit, corn, citrus, oranges, all the vegetables, tomatoes, carrots, cabbage, onions are all grown here. And guess what? The undocumented workers are not showing up there. They're not showing up here in Florida, and they're not showing up in California.
So now that I have fallen down this rabbit hole, I just jumped onto Twitter's, and I got an alt Twitter where I pretend to be a MAGA guy, and I saw a live, and I am not kidding you. This dude, all these dudes in these farmer dudes in there, these farm owner dudes, they're saying, well, we thought the blacks would come back and do the jobs because they don't have jobs. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but black people have jobs, and you thought you were getting your slaves back is basically what you were saying. Like, that's what you thought. It's still going right now, and I'm not going to post a link to it because I don't want to give these people a voice. But they think they're in a safe space on Twitter. They're not.
That man said he went up on the Twitters and he saw them the farmermen, the white farmers, saying that, oh, well, we thought the black folk were going to come back and do the job. He said that they said the blacks, but he said they were convinced that when they started deporting these non-black people of color, right, that we were going to be taking their places back in the fields. Essentially, they thought they were getting their slaves back, right? They thought slavery was going to come back full force. We were going to be like, oh, okay, let's get on back to them fields, because they don't think black people have jobs. But it makes sense, because remember when Trump said they're taking your black jobs? Y'all remember that? Yeah, what do y'all think he meant by that? He meant the people that are in the fields now, right, which are the Hispanic community, the Latinos. He meant that they were taking our black jobs. See, because he thinks that black people's job is to be up in the field. Yeah, that's right, that's exactly what he thinks. So it all makes sense now. They really thought, these farm owners really thought that black folk, they were going to deport the Hispanics, the Latino community, and that black people were going to go back to the field working for nothing. And they tell us to stop living in the past. Bro.
Oh no, this is so sad. There are a bunch of white Texas farmers who are losing their farms right now, because guess what? 100% of their workforce vanished. Wow. So all those people, who got eyes caught on them, they were working on the farms. So now that they're gone, they cannot sustain the farms. You know what's crazy about this video? Because I talked about this like 2 months ago when Trump brought over all these South Afrikaners, farm people, where we find out that they were not really even farmers. And I was talking about this and found out that a few of our dear white farmers here had started losing their farms because of promises that were made to them and was not kept by this administration. So now it's trickling down to some other farmers, because now their workforce, they're gone. And I was seeing somewhere where somebody came over, and it was a Caucasian man. He came over from Twitter, and he was like, y'all, a lot of these farmers, white farmers, they thought that black people were going to come and work for their farms. There's a lot going on in this country right now. Us heading into possibly World War II. But this is a conversation just to kind of talk about right now, that people are kind of seeing I guess what's the word? I can't even find the word, but the decisions that they made, they are coming back to hunt them. Let's just say that. So sorry to hear this, but yeah. So I do hope that some of these Native Americans that did lose their lands, that they do get back some of these farms that are being lost.
So y'all remember when it was said that we taking all the black jobs? They really thought that we was gonna be looking for black jobs, y'all. And I woke up this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw this guy made a video, and I saved it to my favorite, so you can go look for it. And he said he was pretending to be MAGA on one of those other apps. He said they were doing a live, and the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now you gotta be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms. They don't know that our parents and our grandparents growing up wouldn't even let us be outside if it wasn't no shade outside. Do they really think that we gonna work on a farm where ain't no shade trees at? I hate to disappoint y'all, baby, but you gonna have to get somebody else to do it, because we ain't working on nobody's farm. Never. The only way you gonna see black people working on a farm is if they own the farm, because we not working on nobody's farm as no workers. So I hate to disappoint y'all. If y'all thought those was black jobs that black people looking for, honey, you better think again, because black folks that I know got good jobs. We've had a black president, we had a black vice president, we got black senators, we got black congressmen, we got black CEOs, we got black doctors, we got black nurses, we got black psychiatrists, we got a lot of good black jobs. Now, I don't know what y'all thought we was gonna be farm workers for. We don't even want to work in the fast food industry. Those jobs, we don't want those kind of jobs. So, I hate to disappoint you MAGA people, but we don't do farm work. So get somebody else to do it. I would like, share, comment, and repost. Drop in the comments y'all education and y'all good black jobs, because they don't think we got good black jobs out here. So we need to let them see it.
I was just reading. Green Valley, another meat supplier, U.S. meat supplier, well, they had to shut down because of all the arrest ICE is doing. Oklahoma, Nebraska. They had to shut down. Meat suppliers upset. Farmers upset. And the farmers are all talking. They're all saying basically the same shit. Well, they thought black people wasn't working. And when Trump said that, you know, the immigrants was taking the jobs from black folks, the farmers thought that the black people would come and work for them even cheaper. So what I'm trying to say, the farmers thought that they were going to have black slaves coming back. So that's why they didn't mind voting for Trump. Mass deportation of the immigrants. Then the black people would come back, come to work, because they looking for jobs. That's what they thought. They thought they would come to work on their farm, basically for free. You know, black slaves. But then they realized and they saw, well, fuck, black people are working. Well, they ain't coming here to work on my farms. No, we're not. See, because you were lied to. Because Trump told you that black people was lazy and they was receiving welfare, is what they call it. They were receiving welfare. And y'all thought by cutting the welfare that the black people would have no other choice but to go work on them fucking farms for free. That's what y'all thought. Y'all was going to make black people work for that welfare check. And y'all was going to put them on the farms. But see, we black people kept telling y'all ass, it ain't us. It's the white folks that's benefiting from the welfare. They're getting the welfare. It's more of them getting welfare than it is black people. See, y'all white folks, and I know not all white folks, but the majority of the white folks, y'all thought that it was mostly black people because that's what you hear on the news. But it's not. It's mostly white folks that's getting welfare. Not black people out there working. So now the farmers realizing, wait a minute. Where the fuck is all the black people that you promised me? Where are my slaves? Ain't no slaves here, baby. Ain't gonna be no slaves here. We ain't doing that shit. We ain't doing that shit. And I'm telling you, farmers right fucking now, the handful of black folks that's on welfare, I'm telling you right now, they'll get that fucking welfare check up because they ain't coming to work on your fucking farms. They ain't even gonna go out there and work in that hot ass sun. Acres and acres of land. You ain't gonna have no slaves with black folk. Those days are long gone.
They genuinely believe that once they deported Hispanics and Latinos, black people would run back to the fields like it was 1860 all over again. They thought so. Now, how do you feel after watching those videos? Because I don't know how I feel, but I think you should feel something. They thought they were getting their slaves back. They thought they were getting those black people back. That's not exaggeration. That's exactly what they thought. I mean, you heard those black Americans say that. They thought Trump was going to deliver them from free or cheap black labor. They thought when he said, "They're taking your black jobs," he meant the farm jobs belonged to black people. They really believed we were sitting around waiting to go pick cotton and oranges for them. That's what they thought. And I also think this is the level of delusion we are dealing with in 2026. Really delusional. White farmers are now losing their farms, entire operations shutting down. Meat suppliers closing in Oklahoma and Nebraska, crops wasting away, and instead of taking responsibility of voting for this chaos, they are crying that black people won't come and save them. Paradoxically, bro, or sis if you want, you voted to deport the people who were actually doing the hard work. You voted to deport the people, and now you're surprised that we are not lining up to replace them. You thought slavery was coming back, like the slave trade era, the slave trade era. No, that moment is long gone. I think you also thought that we forgot that history. But let's watch this other video. This should blow you off.
Farmers and their affiliates have been sending letters to Donald Trump explaining to him that it's currently planting season. And with the gas prices going up, it's affecting fertilizer as well. So the farmers are saying, with the current state of prices and the fact that it looks like it's going up further because of this Iranian war, many of them are not feeling comfortable to plant crops this season. Some of them are not comfortable because they know there's a worker shortage. Others are uncomfortable because they're saying we won't be able to run our equipment because the gas prices will be way too high if this trend that's currently happening continues into the summer. Others are saying even if we get fertilizer at a cheaper cost, nobody's going to go pick up our crop if the gas prices go higher. So this is a major concern that won't be felt for 6 months. 4 to 6 months when it comes time to harvest. So this is a concern that I don't think most people realize is happening. Again, oil is not just for gas. It's for a multitude of things. The Gulf states and Canada and some Middle Eastern countries provide us with our needs for fertilizer. And if those prices are going up, our food costs are going to go up, if the farmers are even comfortable planting. So this is a thing that I think more people need to have a conversation about. And I do wish the farmers would just accept that they voted poorly and start getting on social media and spreading the word, get on TV when they can and say, yo, this is what's going on and this is what it's going to cause. So we messed up. We now will admit that we messed up, but now it's getting out of hand. Trump has to be stopped. This war needs to be stopped, whatever it is. But that's a pipe dream at this point. Y'all have a good day.
Let me speak directly to these farmers. Enough is enough. Black folks are no longer accepting that we endured. They're not accepting what we endured in the past years. We are not your labor force. We are not your backup plan. We are not returning to the fields so you can keep your white privilege lifestyle. Those days are dead. Those days are gone. Black people have jobs. They have good jobs. We have degrees, we have black presidents, black vice presidents, black CEOs, black doctors, black nurses, black engineers, black professors, black professionals. We have black business owners. We are not looking for farm work under the hot sun with no shade. Our grandparents didn't raise us for that exactly. Our parents worked too hard so we wouldn't have to go back to that lifestyle. You wanted mass deportation, and then you have it. Now deal with the consequences as if nothing is happening. You voted for it, you cheered for it, you thought it will hurt other people, you thought it will hurt the black even more, and somehow you thought it will benefit you. Now your farms are collapsing and you're crying. You're crying in the private. You're crying on Twitter spaces at blacks. And you're saying that it's not fair. And somehow I feel the blacks won't come to save you. This is what happens when you vote with hate instead of sense. Trump told you immigrants were taking black jobs. You cheered for him. But what he really meant and what you understood was that black people belong in the field, not in positions of success. That is the mentality you had. That is the mindset that still lives even in 2026. Well, guess what? We built this country. Our ancestors picked cotton, they built railroads, they worked plantations for free. And after emancipation, sharecropping, Jim Crow, redlings, you still try to keep us locked in second-class positions, but we broke through. We are now out of that space anyway. We are not going back. Never. The only way you you will see black people on farms is if they own those farms. Because that period is long gone. Period. We will be bosses, not workers. We will employ people and not be exploited. To every black person watching this, hold your head high. Be proud of how far we've gone and how far we've come. Don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking we need to go back to work. Back to those farms. Our job is to keep building, keep elevating, keep creating wealth for our communities and for the younger generations. These white farmers are learning a hard lesson right now. Actions have consequences, don't they? You cannot deport your entire workforce and expect the people you express and oppress for centuries to keep on being happy and to happily replace them for low pay or no pay at all. That era is over. It is far gone. This is the regret. This is the freak out. This is white privilege meeting reality. They thought cutting welfare would force black people into the fields. They thought black people were lazy and dependent, but the data has always shown that the more white people are on welfare, and it's evident, yet the stereotype was pushed away because it served their narrative. Now, reality is hitting them hard, as in very hard. Crops are rotting, banks calling loans, farms being lost, and no black slaves coming to save them. But before I return and before we get another narrative, I want you to watch this clip from Philip. Philip is saying something because MAGA voters are losing it. Let's watch this.
Welcome to another episode of FAFO, where I bring you stories of MAGA voters that have entered the find out phase of their vote. In response to Rump's comment about him not caring about American people's finances, even a little bit, Sheila wrote the following on Facebook, quote, "Dear President Rump, please stop sending money to other countries while our country struggles to put food on the table and gas in our cars because of the fuel prices and still existent pork barrel spending. I am MAGA, Republican, conservative, and most important, Christian. It is our civic and Christian duty to financially take care of our citizens first. Our taxes are high, fuel prices are high, and food is becoming a luxury in many households. Please stop this and put money back in our citizens' pockets. Thank you, Mr. President." Jim wrote the following on Facebook. "This is not what I voted for, Rump. I voted for a more affordable America. America first, not last. Disappointing." Virginia wrote the following on her Facebook. "I'm tired of President Rump trying to change every the US is known for. I voted for him, but it looks like I made a mistake. I'm 77 years old and haven't seen anything to help us seniors." She writes another comment saying, "Well, I haven't seen anything. Where are the checks he promised for us seniors?" Barbara wrote the following on Facebook, and it sounds like she's being grifted. "Mr. President, I'm receiving about 10 or 12 texts a day from Republicans wanting money. Plus some are mean. I send money when I can, but a couple of weeks ago I was scammed out of $25,000 and no way to replace it because I'm 83 years old and retired. My mother lived to age 97 and I could too. I'm fearful I will outlive my money. I will send when I can and I have in the past. I will always vote Republican, and anytime you're on the ballot you will get my vote. Right now my home needs a new roof and I need a new fence to keep the snakes out. I think you are the best president we have ever had, and I tell everyone I talk to that. Your faithful supporter, Barbara." Terry wrote the following on Facebook, and it sounds like Terry is also being grifted. "President Rump, some people can't give. I'm on Social Security, so I don't pay enough to donate hundreds of dollars when I fight to live now." Ella wrote the following on their Facebook. "Something is really bothering me. I like and appreciate most everything Rump is trying to do, but he made a comment that I don't know how to feel about. He said, our economy is good and prices are down. That could not be more wrong. Why would he say that? Had he went to the grocery store later or filled up his gas tank, like I said, I am a Rump supporter, but that kind of threw me off balance.
I hope Native Americans whose lands were stolen get some of these farms back. I hope black farmers who were systematically denied loans in land for decades get justice too. This is what happens when you play with hate politics. This is what happens when you vote for division instead of solution. Black people told you, we want you, but now we think you didn't listen. You listen to the loud voices promising to make America great again. But bringing back the old social order, now you're paying the price. So to every MAGA farmer watching their livelihood crumble, this is anew. You made your bed, now lie on it. On to my black brothers and sisters, stay focused, stay building, stay strengthened, stay away from anything that wants to drag us backwards. We have come too far to go back to the fields for anybody. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Have you seen this kind of thinking before? What black jobs do they think we should be doing in 2026? Tell me what you think below. I'll be waiting. If this video opened your eyes, smash that button, share it with someone who needs to see this video, and also subscribe for more real talk. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any next one we're about to produce. This is the truth they don't want us to tell you. This is the truth they don't want you to hear. Black folks are no longer accepting what we endured in the past. The game has changed.